Hey guys, this is what my cat thinks. I think Barack Obama is no better than George Bush Sr., and any other president that's been there that has such a short tail over money. Over money. That's all it is. It's over money. That's what they think. But let me put this up a little bit higher because I like to see myself. This is not only money. This is big time money. This is full control of the entire world, breaking it down between the US, Asia, and a few other places. Right now the US is trying to get into Syria. Stop them. No matter who you are or whatever it takes, you must stop them. The Russians are here to save us. In James Bond, if you listen to the James Bond and understand and do all the numbers, Russia's here to save us. James Bond wasn't even American. Okay? He's not. He's an icon in America, but he's not an American. Okay? Not according to these shows. Not according to what I understand. It's Europe trying to present that they're stopping the Russians. So I regard Europe and the US as basically the same thing. Add the Pope in there, Pope Benoit. Oh my God, what the biggest... Can I use the word thief? Am I allowed to use the word thief? Does anybody know what the word thief is? It means when you take away the love from. That's what a thief is, when you remove the love. When you remove somebody from loving you because of a stupid thing you've done, not helping out the people, because of what the government say. You don't think the Da Vinci Code was real? It's more real than you'll ever think. Okay? The governments are trying to attract communication, which is in the sky and under the ground. Why? Because that's where it comes in from the other world. We're in a correctional center right here. We're not inside what you think is the earth. This is not the place to be. If you ever see an alien come down, let me tell you one thing. There's two things about the aliens. Number one, they're run by man on this earth. And number two, they're run by God in the heavens. Okay? God has his aliens and man has created his own. Okay, and if you ever see an alien or you see an army person and you don't think he's real, try to figure out what to say to him so he'll show you that he's not real. Because it's somebody behind there, a little part in our head to something thousands of miles away are controlling these iPod irons, just like Iron in the movie. Hit them in the nuts. That's where it all goes down, my friend. They don't put anything in the head. They don't put anything in the body. All the mechanics have to work from within here. Believe you me, I've had these dreams and I saw how they're designed, okay? Everything is down in the nuts, okay? In the ass and in the nuts. That's where you got to get them by, okay? Not in the face, not in the eyes. It won't really do anything to them. It's all part of mechanics. They have more than two eyes on them. They can open up a third eye at any time, but if they open up a third eye, they shut down another eye. When they open one, they close down one. It's the way, it's the manufacturing process of the elements. All the medical, the extra medical, and all the extra, one of the reasons for the Korean War and all this, it was to move medical supplies. Okay? It was to take over Korea. So they got this man to stay in Korea from 1940 whatever. Why didn't they move him out? Didn't they go in for the war? Why didn't they move him out? Because it was all the setup. If he was there, okay, from 1942, or what year was he there from actually? That's all the setup, my friends. Don't let anything get over you. The American government is run by not really the banks. It's run by the people. The people with the money who run the banks. Okay, it might not be the banks at all. But whoever's involved in it, everybody knows. They're all a bunch of suckers. You know what I'm saying? You're all a bunch of cocksuckers. I'm ready with a guy. What do I have to lose? I have a child, okay, and I have an ex-wife. That's about it. My parents and my family. But I would still stand up for America and for Canada right in the front, not to fight. You want to come talk to me and let's discuss what's actually going on. We don't need a takeover. Nobody's going to take over us if we're not going to take over them. That's not the way God stood up this world that we're in. It's all a bunch of malarkey that you pick up from other people saying, just like Einstein, he says, well, guess what, Americans, they're building this big electronic bomb or whatever. You should do the same thing. And then Einstein comes back a year or two later and he writes a book, oh, you better not build it. So it's all on, we have the information, what are you going to do with it? God has to test every level of man from the level of where he works, okay? And if you're a president or if you're taking care of people, you are taking care of people. This is not a money operation. If you come out and you get voted in to take care of the people, not to change or disturb the people's lives, not to think what another country is doing. If somebody else is going to fire you, stand up in your own home. You don't have to go out and chase fire water. You don't have to go out to anybody else's home. I mean, the only reason the U.S. right now is in Syria, and I'm hoping Russia stands up, and let me tell you one thing about Russia. Russia's the most powerful nation below and above the surface and into the skies. If they see somebody's going to go in and do something wrong, they're going to turn around and put their foot on it. and slapped down because the Russians aren't here for that. Maybe part of them have been manipulated, but most of Russia is what I call the alien nation. Alien nation. It means alien means to borrow. It means to borrow a piece of land to come here and live on our earth. Alien, Alice, alone. Okay? If you want to talk about Barack Obama, he's the biggest cocksucker I ever met. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. George Bush is the biggest cocksucker I ever met. I don't have to throw a pie at him. I threw it right here on the internet. It's all talk, talk, talk. That's all I do is talk, talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. That's all I'll do. Talk, 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 talk. Because you guys are a bunch of brain wizards. You guys are the biggest idiots. When you go for takeover, you lose everything. Now you have to demand that the people get up and go to work. Now you have to demand. The people don't have to get up and work for you. They'll turn around, they'll make their own gardens, and they'll feed their own faces. So the first 6 months will be hard, the winters will be hard, but they'll get together. They don't need you. Unless you take away all their land, well then, once you push us all together in a group, my friends, if you ever get man of love in a group, there's nothing that beats man of love. Soldiers, anything, because if your soldiers don't love their wives, don't they know that they're going to be one part of it one day? Half the soldiers will either disappear or be fighting against man. The soldier that came in here to fight to protect is not going to be protecting at all, except for keeping people away from the government. What kind of insane stupidity is this, you asshole idiots? I just don't, I do get it. Sure, I get it. You want control. What are you, a bunch of idiots? Haven't you played Monopoly? At the end of the game, it's over, my friend. What, you don't think there's somebody that created us? Because if the governments in the world, okay, believe that we must take over the world, okay, then none of them believe in God. There's not one person who's in government that will not take care of his people that believe in God. Because God tells all the governments to take care of your people first. If you're taking care of the war first, then you're taking care of nobody. Because everybody would be stopping these wars because they're very easy to stop. What do you think, China wants to bring 1 billion people over here? Yeah, come over here. You let the people into the state. You let them in. Now you're complaining they're getting something of yours that they shouldn't get at all. Well, you didn't bring them under the grandfather law. The grandfather law means within the first 200 years, certain elements have to be implicated to anybody who's coming into this country. It's what I call the grounding law, to learning of the country and what it's all about. You just can't come in here and start to do things. So within the first 25 years, you get no votes at all. And the reason you get no votes at all, unless you come in here under the age of 18, okay, the father's not allowed. Every session, okay, on the tic-tac-toe is 25 per square. And you don't get to make one vote until you've hit at least the first 25. Because the first 25 means you're coming in to settle. You don't get to say anything because you're coming in to settle. You know nothing about anything. How can you just come in and vote? And it's not a 5-year deal. The 5-year deal is a passage. The 14-year deal is passage number 2. But the 41st year, okay, is a passage complete. This all has to do with numerology and blackjack, roulette, whatever you want, snooker, pool, whatever game you want. All these games fall in order to a session of how things should work in numbers, based on numbers. Just based on numbers, because that's all reality is based on numbers. Everybody's always calculating on numbers. So now if George Bush wants to come down and think he's safe, he thinks, do you think what I see, is America going to split apart the islands, keep maybe Arizona, California, and up there, and really take over the rest of the earth? But at the same time, there's a teardrop that starts in Chicago, goes to Montreal, over to Boston, down over to New York, into Pennsylvania, and then back up towards Ohio and into Chicago. It's almost like they're going to take that and control that certain part of it. Okay? They don't want to pay for things. They're going to take your money, but they're not going to want to pay for anything else wherever you are in this world. But they'll take your money, and they'll throw you out of your house, and they'll leave it empty because their thing is control. All control. Maxwell Smart, Agent 99, we're coming in. 99 to 1010 is 11. 86, okay, is 24. Man, angel, heaven, spirit, angel, man. Uncle Sam is what it basically spells in short. And they want to take care of you. They want to take care of you by taking everything away from you. Computer rights, computers, television. The same way it is in Cuba today, that's the way it's going to become. You're going to lose all your communication rights. You're not going to be able to phone anybody. Everything is going to be under control. Eventually, they'll open it up once they have full control on it. But at the beginning, they want nobody to have anything. Scare us all, man. You know what? I like to know how many guys out there have got balls to stand up to an army. Because I got the balls to stand up, but I wouldn't go out there until I know I can defeat it. Because I don't even believe the army is full of men. I believe most of them are going to be robots. So actually what you're beating up is a machine, and you've beat the machine before, and that's the way to go. And the best way to hit it is hit it in the nuts. Even if it's not real, the nuts is all communication. All the wiring from the legs, okay, goes down through the nuts. Everything comes up from the arms to know what the legs have done, the quickest route. Okay, and then you have the little mark in the head, and then the little mark over here. It's a chakra setup. They built it according to the chakras, and they have no choice, because that's the way the body is made. Anyways, take care for now, my friends.